Hello traders. We could see in the last week, especially Thursday and Friday, Nifty spot has been able to collapse by almost 3% in a matter of just two trading sessions. All right, just close to 3%. Now, this has not just happened over a period of 3 to 4 trading sessions, slowly and steadily, but it is a very, very fast correction. So the question over here is that we are going to continue this fall on the downside very fast as we saw in the last 2 days, or is it just a short-term dip? Just to remind you, in my last video, I had shared some important levels with all of you. First, I'll come to the daily time frame chart. If you remember, I had clearly told that whatever is happening over here, okay, we are surely in an uptrend. I do not deny. And I have posted this, shared this in my previous weekly sectoral analysis. I clearly told that we are in a range-bound choppy market. And we do have a certain amount of resistance at 25 to 100. And we'll require immense amount of strength by Nifty spot and the entire market to surpass this, to close above it so that we can continue to rally. And if you see properly that the rally did occur from this point close to 24,500, and we saw a very decent rally till close to 25,206 or some 2010 possibly, whatever. But we were not able to close above this particular level, and this level is still present in my previous video. So this resistance was respected. First thing is that. Second thing, if you check properly, again, I had shared this important support with all of you, which is 24,349 or 350. From that level to particular 24,450 or 456. This entire small band on the weekly time frame chart was a decent support band for the short term. Now, if you see this correction which did happen on Friday, we did open a massive gap down. I think the Thursday's closing was 24,890, and then suddenly we opened at 24,446, and from there we have pulled back pretty nicely. This pullback is massive considering a one-day pullback. And due to this, what has happened is little bit the candle which was made in the last week's candle is slightly lesser bearish. I'm not saying it is bullish because it has a wick, but I can still say that due to this wick, it is visible that there is some sort of buying happening over here. There are some bulls which are trying to propel market on the upside. Now, will they be successful? Will they not be successful? That is a different thing. But in terms of trend, in terms of momentum, things are fine in the in the monthly time frame chart on the far right. On the middle time frame, which is the weekly time frame chart, I should say that the trend is up, but the momentum is surely weakening. And if you remember, I had also shared that the distance between the moving averages and the price was slightly a bit more for my comfort, and due to this has happened. One thing is the 25,200 resistance worked out, and second thing is that we were a little bit overstretched in the short term. Now, since we are close to this support, we need to wait we need to watch and see what happens in the next coming week, because this is again a very, very important support. Same support over here. You can see a lot of clusters. So if we break below this, if we close below this, and if the short-term momentum drags market on the downside, then there are multiple short-term supports, no doubt about that. But a meaningful support will come at 23,810 to 23,877. Obviously, there are few more supports in between here, which are short-term supports. But I would say meaningful support is, again, I will repeat, 23,810 to 23,870 or 877. Going ahead, having a look at Bank Nifty in terms of trend, things are fine. Yes, we do have a inverted hammer over here. We do have a shooting star, but just remember that we are not at the end of this month. So this candle so far is not that valid. But the last week's candle, yes, it is not that great as it is engulfing the previous week's bullish candle. Again, you can see that the rally in the Bank Nifty was very, very fast, and this consolidation, this correction was needed, and it is also coming due to the PSU banks, which I had clearly shared in my previous video. I'll come to that, but first let me talk about the private banking space. Private banking space in terms of trend in the monthly and in the weekly time frame chart, the trend is up, no problem, but momentum surely is slipping in the weekly time frame charts. So some consolidation is pretty much possible in the coming week, and you can already see some consolidation happening over here. All right. Now, PSU banks. Now, PSU banks were looking much different as they rallied very, very confidently initially. And if you remember in my previous video, I had clearly told that PSU banks do need to correct as they were trading somewhere near this important resistance. I'll just redraw it for all of you. Yeah, here it is. You can see it was near the Fibonacci extension. This was the extension. We did close above it 2 to 3 days. Again, there was a grasp of bullishness, and then again we took a reversal. And when this reversal was happening, if you convert this chart into a line chart, you can clearly see a negative divergence. So this profit booking was necessary, and which is happening, and it is absolutely fine because the trend is up surely in the weekly, in the monthly time frame chart. Momentum is also fine in the weekly time frame chart, but the distance between the moving averages and the price was slightly less comfortable for me, and I think whatever is happening in the PSU banking space is good enough. Talking of important supports, I think we are near important supports, especially this level 6780 is an important support in the PSU banking space, and the main reason for that is there is a decent cluster here and there's a previous high here. So this space is an important support band. Energy pack. Energy pack, I think the monthly time frame chart is improving slowly and steadily, no problem about that. But the weekly time frame chart, you can see that it is consolidating. It is not that confident. Even the displacement of the moving averages is improving. I'm not saying it is bad, it's improving. But if you have a look at the momentum at the RSI, it is sideways. And that is the reason we can see this boxy consolidation happening in the energy pack as well. Initially, I think in the starting of the week, there was a very good movement on the upside. We saw some sort of breakout also happening in the shorter term daily time frame chart, which was pretty impressive. But somehow, unfortunately, it has not sustained on the higher levels. In terms of trend, I think we are in an uptrend in the weekly and in the monthly time frame charts. But the daily time frame charts, we are in a flattish trend. But we are also near important support band, which is at 34,638 to 35,116 or 110. So I think next week will give us more idea about this particular sector. Auto pack again, momentum trend, both are fine in the monthly time frame chart. In the weekly time frame chart, I should say that the trend is up, momentum is slightly on the sideways. Even the daily time frame chart, the trend is now down, but we are near important supports, which is at 22,964. What has happened is in auto pack is that the pullback had been one way, and it was just a vertical. It was not 45 degrees turn. It was just a vertical turn like this. So I think this consolidation or some sort of correction was pretty much viable, and we can also see some sort of buying happening at lower levels. So yes, the daily chart has gone a bit of out sync, but this correction consolidation was important. We'll have to see, wait, watch what happens in the next week. Also, if you remember, I had also shared one important level with all of you in the auto pack, that if we want to see auto pack to go on the upside, then we will need to surpass this particular level, which is 23,934 to 24,012. We'll have to close and sustain above it. And if you check properly, the high of this day, 11 June, is exactly close to that particular resistance band. So that's a resistance band was respected, and immediately there was a U-turn which happened. If you want to check, you can check it in the 2-hourly time frame chart, how well this level has been respected, and suddenly we have taken a U-turn on the downside. So I think let's wait out for the next week. I think we'll understand very soon what's going to happen in the auto pack. Consumption pack, again, the trend is fine in the monthly time frame chart. The trend is fine in the weekly time frame chart as well. But in terms of momentum, the monthly chart is better, but the momentum is surely weakening in the weekly time frame charts. But the displacement of the moving averages is good. If this dip occurs, where will be the next support? That is more important. That is very, very important. Let us have a look at that. Okay, so this is one important support and this is the second important support, which is at 11,200. So 11,200 to 11,120. This is an important support band. And just for your remembrance, if you remember that in my last video, last Friday, what I shared was 11,613 to 11,635 is an important resistance. If you close and sustain above it, probably the sector will start moving higher. And if you can check properly, what has happened is, yes, we have been able to close above it on 9th of June, but it was not a big green candle. It did not infuse any confidence in the mind of bulls. And then suddenly the next day we took a U-turn. So yes, technically you can say we did close above it, but not with a positive candle. So I think still consolidation is continuing in this particular sector. Finance pack, I guess I will not tell much about it. The finance pack was already overstretched on the upside. Trend momentum seems to be fine in the monthly time frame charts. Trend and momentum is also okay in the weekly time frame charts, but some sort of consolidation cannot be denied in this sector in the coming week. FMCG, again, the elephant in the room. I clearly stated last time that things are not looking good in the weekly time frame charts of the FMCG pack. The monthly time frame chart was slightly bit okay, but you can see what has happened over here. This was an important support. If you remember, I shared in my previous video, 55,040 to 54,798. So you can see prices have been able to close below it, and the more we sustain below this particular support band, more prices will be forced to move on the downside. So be careful if you are a bullish trader in the FMCG pack. Infra, I think a very strong sector. The weekly and monthly time frame charts, the momentum is pretty strong. The trend is also strong. Only thing is, in the last 3 to 4 weeks, we can see some sort of consolidation is happening. Yes, some sort of buying has happened at the lower level, which we can see, and due to which we have a small wick. I think if this consolidation continues a bit more, and even if we have a small correction on the downside, I don't think it will hamper the overall structure of the infra pack. Yes, in the daily time frame chart, things can go a little bit on the bad side, but the weekly time frame chart can certainly sustain a little bit of beating on the downside, because I surely believe that any sector which is strong enough, if it wants to go on the upside, it will have to retrace and then take the second leg up or the third leg up on the upside. So this is something which we need to understand. IT pack, the monthly time frame chart, the trend is positive, momentum is fine. The weekly time frame chart is also trying to improve as we are closing above this particular high. Over here, if you can see, this is an important support. If this IT pack wants to continue moving on the upside, because even on the Friday, it has not opened a lot gap down, and even if it has, then the way it has pulled back was really, really great. And the overall structure of the trend, even in the daily time frame chart, is not that bad. So I think this is an important support. Traders should have keep a watch on this particular level, which is 36,327 to 36,494. If we start trading below it, closing below it, then things might change. But so far, so good. Metal pack, I can say the monthly time frame chart, the trend is up, momentum is great. The trend and momentum in the weekly time frame chart is also nice. The daily time frame chart is also okay. I think if we can see properly that the Dow theory is pretty much intact in the weekly time frame charts. This is the first low. This is the first high which has surpassed this particular high. If we move on the downside, okay, and after moving downside, if we hit important supports and start moving up, I think swing traders should surely keep a watch on this particular metal pack. Pharma, I don't think I would like to share anything. Yes, the weekly time frame, the monthly time frame chart is improving. The weekly time frame chart is trying to improve, but still you can see a lot of wicks on the upside. So I'm not that comfortable speaking about it. So let's wait out few more days and then I will try to share my view about it. PSE sector. PSE sector, one of the strongest sectors. Once again, trend and momentum both are fine in the weekly and in the monthly time frame charts. A bit of consolidation is surely visible in the last 3 to 4 weeks. And that is the reason we can see this choppiness in the daily time frame chart also. Talking about important supports, this is an important support band from 9649 to 9754. So till the time we are holding above this particular support band, things are fine. With consolidation, if we try to take a dip, we should not forget the displacement of the moving averages is positive over here, and if we bounce back from this support, then I think short-term traders will have a good chance in this particular sector. Realty pack exceptionally strong in the weekly and in the monthly time frame charts. Momentum is also going very, very strong in the both of these time frames, but we need to understand that we are at an important resistance. You can see this 1045 or 1044.70, exactly the same particular resistance I've tried to plot in the daily time frame charts, and you can see that a short-term top has occurred. And according to me, I would say that the space between the moving averages and the price is pretty much extremely on the upside. Some sort of consolidation or profit booking is very much important for the sector for the rally to continue, because again, as I would say one thing, any sector before going up would need a pullback on the downside, and only then it will be able to go up. All right. Midcaps again very strong in the weekly and in the monthly time frame charts. Trend momentum both are absolutely fine. This is an important resistance from where we can see some profit booking happening, some consolidation, some profit booking. If it happens in the mid-cap sector, I think it will be overall good for the market. Now, I think summing it up all, I would say just one thing, that this shakeout which has happened, this profit booking which has happened in the last week, especially in the ending of the last week on Thursday and Friday, I don't think so far we should be scared about it, because the way markets have rallied in last few weeks to possibly few couple of months, from 7th of April, the bottom has occurred over here. You can see over here, 7th of April, the way Nifty has rallied, it was amazing. It was just one-way rally. And after this one-way rally, we did need some sort of consolidation, some profit booking, and that is what is happening over here. This is specifically a time to slow down your trading. Have more time in your trading homework. Pay attention to what is happening in the sectoral indices. In case if we do not break important supports, then I think maybe we could have good times ahead. But as of now, slow down a little bit of your trading and try to find out what's happening in the market in the next 1 or 2 weeks. All right. Trade less, trade wisely. Thank you.